Are you constantly battling exhaustion from endless arguments, defending your faith and trying to justify yourself to people who refuse to see your truth? Friends, listeners, cherished souls, today I want to ignite within you a profound realization. Spiritual discernment is not just an option. It is an absolute necessity for thriving in this vibrant life. You see, not everything that wears the cloak of good genuinely springs from the divine, and certainly, not every voice whispering into your ear is led by the unwavering spirit of truth. The sacred scriptures, our timeless guide, gently yet firmly caution us that deceptive voices, false prophets, and even the adversary himself can cunningly appear as an angel of light, aiming to subtly lead you astray. Without this keen spiritual intuition, a powerful inner compass, we become tragically vulnerable, easily manipulated and misled by insidious forces actively seeking to derail God's magnificent, flourishing plan for our precious lives. This insidious deception, often cloaked in plausibility, demands our utmost vigilance and a divinely gifted ability to see beyond the surface. Indeed, our world is filled with individuals who, perhaps entirely unknowingly, carry spirits not aligned with the divine. They may exude an aura of deceptive harmlessness, even eloquently using religious language and spiritual platitudes. But their true words and underlying actions are often deeply rooted in confusion, subtle manipulation, and ultimately, these individuals, whether conscious of their role or not, are often unwitting pawns in a much larger spiritual game. And their influence possesses the quiet, persistent power to subtly pull you away from the brilliant, illuminating light of truth that God has destined for you. This is precisely why cultivating spiritual discernment isn't merely a fleeting suggestion or an optional add-on. It is, in fact, the very bedrock upon which a life of unwavering faith, unshakable purpose, and deep, enduring peace is robustly built. Think of Jesus, our ultimate and perfect guide, who effortlessly navigated a world teeming with those who outwardly projected a facade of righteousness, yet inwardly harbored deep, entrenched wickedness. The Pharisees, for instance, meticulously knew the scriptures and adhered strictly to religious customs, but their hearts remained tragically distant from God's true essence. Crucially, Jesus did not waste a single precious moment attempting to justify himself or his divine mission to them. Instead, he intuitively understood their true, hidden motives, saw with crystal clarity through their empty rhetoric and veiled attacks, and powerfully discerned the malevolent spirit that truly lay behind their accusation. This, my friends, this profound spiritual insight is the vital wisdom we, as believers, must wholeheartedly embrace and apply in our daily lives today. Let's be absolutely clear. Not everyone who challenges you, questions your path, or probes your beliefs is genuinely seeking understanding or the profound light of truth. Some, unfortunately, are merely attempting to ensnare you in their intricate web of deceit, to plant insidious seeds of crippling doubt within your mind, and to stir unnecessary Without sharp, God-given discernment, you might find yourself trapped in an endless, exhausting cycle of constantly defending your faith, endlessly justifying your every action, and tirelessly trying to prove your inherent worth to those who possess zero genuine intention of ever truly understanding or accepting you. This profound gift of spiritual discernment, this invaluable inner compass guiding your steps, is not magically born from intellect alone, nor is it acquired solely through mere life experience. Rather, it beautifully blossoms from a deep, continuous relationship with God. The more you harmoniously align your spirit with God's spirit, the more exquisitely and clearly you will recognize when something feels authentically right or powerfully amiss in your interaction. You will feel an undeniable, distinct tug in your spirit when a conversation is subtly designed to drag you into unproductive conflict. You will sense with unwavering clarity when someone's seemingly innocent words are subtly laced with deception. And you will instantly, unerringly recognize when the enemy is attempting to use another individual to This acute awareness saves invaluable time and energy. The wisdom of strategic silence. Many of us, unfortunately, fall into the perilous trap of trying to intellectually reason with spirits that have already firmly and resolutely rejected divine truth. We engage in endless, futile debates, desperately hoping that logic, however sound, will somehow soften a heart that has become hardened by pride, resistance, or unbelief. But understand this crucial spiritual principle. The adversary does not operate through logical discourse. He masterfully works through cunning, insidious deception, which bypasses reason altogether. No amount of eloquent explanation, however articulate or well-intentioned, will ever convince someone whose spirit is resolutely closed off to God's transformative light. This is why Jesus, in his infinite and perfect wisdom, cautioned us against casting pearls before swine. It's not because truth lacks inherent value, for it is priceless, but because those who stubbornly refuse to embrace it will only trample upon it, potentially turning with hostility against you and your message. The enemy, in his cunning, yearns for you to squander your precious time arguing with people who have absolutely no genuine desire to hear it. He actively seeks to distract you from your sacred purpose, to frustrate your spirit with endless contention, and to utterly do. However, God, in his boundless grace, has called you to walk in profound wisdom, recognizing with discernment that there is a sacred, opportune time to speak boldly, and an equally powerful, strategic time to remain in reverent silence. There's a moment to share illuminating truth, and a moment to gracefully, yet firmly, step away from pointless confrontation. Consider Jesus in the wilderness. When tempted by the devil, he didn't engage with the adversary's insidious, tricky questions. Instead, he powerfully responded with the unwavering word of God and moved forward decisively, without lingering, without explaining himself, and without attempting to convince the enemy of his divine identity and authority. This, my friends, is the powerful, liberating example we, as believers, are called to follow. You absolutely do not owe an explanation or justification to those individuals being used to distract, deceive, or disempower you. Your profound, singular responsibility is to walk in unwavering truth, to stand unshakably firm in your faith, and to listen solely to God's guiding voice above all. This focus liberates your spirit. If you neglect to diligently cultivate deep spiritual discernment, you will inevitably find yourself entangled in countless unnecessary conflicts, draining your precious energy on people who genuinely have no desire or capacity to embrace the light of truth. But when you walk in profound, God-given discernment, you will effortlessly recognize the enemy's insidious tactics and confidently, without hesitation. Refuse to engage in fruitless conversations or pointless arguments. Understand that some of the most potent attacks against your faith will not come from obvious, declared adversaries, but from seemingly well-intentioned individuals. They may approach you with kind words, deep-sounding questions, and flattering speech, yet their underlying spirit will subtly, yet profoundly, oppose God's truth and His. This, my friends, is precisely why discernment is absolutely crucial. It acts as an impenetrable shield, guarding you from deception, preventing needless strife, and draining conflict, and keeping you laser-focused on the magnificent preordained path God has meticulously laid before. The Bible commands us to test every spirit, to thoughtfully weigh every single word spoken to us, and to measure everything against the unwavering truth of God's holy word. It never suggests accepting everything at face value or without scrutiny. There will indeed be voices attempting to lead you astray. Voices that will try to make you doubt God's promises and His profound love for you. But with profound discernment, you will not be easily shaken by opposition. You will not be easily deceived by cunning tactics, and you certainly won't waste invaluable time trying to explain yourself to spirits that have already firmly, stubbornly rejected the truth. Let your life itself be the most powerful sermon you could ever deliver, a vibrant, living answer that transcends mere words, elaborate explanations, or defensive justifications. The world, in its yearning, truly seeks answers about faith, about truth, and about God's tangible power and presence. People will indeed challenge your beliefs. They will demand empirical proof, and they will seek endless explanations. But the most impactful response to all of this is not a well-crafted argument. It is instead a life that so profoundly reflects God's tangible presence that it becomes utterly irrefutable, just as Jesus lived His truth, healing the sick, raising the dead, setting the captives free from spiritual bondage. His actions eloquently and powerfully answered every single question posed to Him. His life, lived in perfect obedience and love, was the undeniable living proof of God's power. This, my friends, is the profound shared calling we embrace. Not to squander our precious time fruitlessly convincing those who deliberately refuse to see, but to walk in such an authentic, transparent, and faith-filled way that our very lives inherently provide the answers to the world's most pressing questions. When you embody serene peace amidst raging storms, when you remain steadfast and unwavering through life's most trying trials, when you choose to love those who despitefully use you, and when you live with uncontainable joy despite your challenging circumstances, your life becomes a living, breathing testament that no one absolutely. Today, make a conscious, intentional decision. Cultivate deep spiritual discernment with unwavering commitment. Protect your sacred peace fiercely and guard your divine purpose with every fiber of your being. Choose to live a life so powerfully aligned with God's truth, so overflowing with His presence, that it inspires, transforms, and speaks volumes without uttering a single unnecessary word of defense or justification. How will you intentionally allow your life to be God's vibrant, compelling answer to a questioning world, starting right now, allowing your very existence